I'll do the website in a minute, but one of the I alluded to it earlier that there's a checkout process that we're going to do every office day. You're going to be expected to do with your manager. The sheet that I just gave you is the checkout sheet. Okay, it's pretty basic, pretty simple. Again, read it, fill in the blank. Not a lot to it, but every Tuesday, and every Friday before you roll out, you should be prepared to go sit down with your manager for 5 minutes, talking about how many appointments are scheduled for each of your field days. Okay, so it's going to make sure that you've got enough activity to do your job. How many completed fact finders were turned in? Okay, this is important as you're a brand new agent, because when you go out and you're seeing these folks and you may only be doing fact finders until you schedule that go back or whatever, you know, by bringing those fact finders back to your manager, what's going to give you the opportunity to do is, number one, let your manager figure out if there's something they can do to help you in a go back situation, but number two, it's also going to help determine if you've maybe missed an opportunity. Okay, when fact finder's done and done well, if there's an opportunity there, oftentimes new agent may not catch what that opportunity was, and so a manager can walk through that with you and say, hey, look, did you talk to him about this? Why didn't you? Okay, well, let's go that route a little bit more. Okay, so bringing your fact finders in with your manager, you need to discuss that, each of you with your individual managers, to see when they want you to, be bringing those fact finders to them. Maybe you guys schedule a time once a week to sit down and go over that stuff. I don't know. That's for you and your manager to figure out, but the turn in fact finders. 6-week roll. 6-week roll is $750. Okay, that's kind of a minimum expectation that we have as an organization, that if you're going to be successful in our business, you should be able to be turning in at least $750 worth of commission per week. If not, maybe this isn't the right deal for you, or maybe something's not quite right and it needs to be tweaked. And so, having these sit downs with your manager are going to help us determine what those things are. Okay, so try to keep track of what that 6-week rolling average is. Okay, you guys familiar? That makes sense. Just going to take the average of the last 6 weeks of performance.
That is with the shared commission. Obviously, in the start, we probably will be accompanying with someone, but that 6 week will come to play once we are on our own, right?
No, 6 weeks is going to come into play all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And the reason is because if you're splitting commission with someone, let's say you and I go sell a case that's got $1,000 worth of commission on a life insurance policy. You get credit for 5, I get credit for 5. Okay? So that still goes towards your average. You were half of that sale. Okay? Touch 4 letters. How many touch 4 letters were filled out? This is just kind of a keeping you accountable. Did you do it or didn't you? If you didn't, you should. Okay? We talked about the importance of that.
She had never done it until yesterday.
Well, that's her and her manager's fault. I'm not gonna slap anybody around here. You guys are new.
Yeah.
But I know that her previous manager was Matt Goen, and he tends to skip steps, which is why I think it's not your manager anymore. No big deal.
None of us had the batch. Norman and Robert and I, we didn't do T4s the whole time. I think part of it was because it was December and Christmas.
Yeah, we had some transitions, and we also changed the letters a little bit, so there's been a couple of different reasons.
But yeah, I was very glad to do them yesterday. I'd like to do more, actually.
Good. Do as many as you want.
They were saying they only had the half day of training the first day, and then threw
Well,
out with this.
and there was a reason. There was a reason for that as well, because they were in the middle of MA season, and that's all that's being focused on. Yeah, of course. But T4 letters, making sure we're staying accountable to that T4 process. Okay. The lead cards, again, we went over the lead cards. You guys have seen them before. Now you've seen them twice. Okay. Make copies of them or get them from your manager or whatever. They should be in the document server or whatever it's called. You should be able to get those all access all the time to that type of information. Writing the explanation for the lead type also comes right on that lead card. But did you do it? Were you actually paying attention when you were scheduling these appointments? Copy of your appointment book. Copy of the appointment book is important. It's going to show what's scheduled, but also too, if maybe we come across somebody that's called into the office and said, hey, I'm interested in getting some life insurance. We can see that you're in what area at what time that day. Maybe we can call you up and say, hey, so-and-so is looking for this. Can you get out there and see him? Okay, so a copy of the appointment book is important. And then status, attitude, areas of improvement, and manager comments. Guys, this is not for the purpose of micromanaging, although it is a form of micromanagement. This is simply a tool for us to use to try to make you as strong of a representative as we can for our organization and as successful as we can help make you as quickly as possible. And if we're checking in with you every day that we're in the office on Tuesdays and Fridays, we can find out the successes that you had when you're out in the field the days before. We can find out the failures that you had, and we can hopefully determine what areas need to be improved on to make you better, faster. Okay? So I think a lot of people kind of begrudge this system. This is a method of accountability and improvement. That's exactly what it's for. Okay? I don't like doing the manager's checkouts any more than people like filling out their sheets, but the concept is it's to make everybody better. Okay? We have a system holds everyone accountable. Okay? Accountability is huge. So that's our checkout sheet. Okay? Any questions about it? It's pretty simple, right? There's nothing earth-shattering in there. Okay? Have you guys seen the Project 15 report?
Yes.
No? Hi. Hey, John. Could you shoot me an email
Say hi to the camera.
with the Project 15 real quick, just so I can show them?
Yes, sir. I'll do that right now.
Thank you, sir. Can you also tell me my UA number so I can get into Agent Link? UA 11064 maybe? But
Sure,
I'm not
there you
sure.
go.
Huh?
Sure, there you go. I have it somewhere, I believe.
I have it too, it's just auto-saved to my computer, that's why I never remember it. And I'm not on my computer.
UA 114068.
One 11068.
Yes, sir.
Kind of a shame I don't know my number, huh? Alright. So you're sending me that Project 15 right now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Give me 1 second.
I'll give you 2.
I just got an email with an appointment for mutual Omaha, I guess is what it is.
Good. Means you can write Gerber.
Yeah, yeah. And it has a producer number, so every company that we apply to has a different producer number?
A lot of them.
Okay. So we need to keep that in our book
Yeah.
with our contact numbers.
Alright guys, so I'm going to show you a little bit about some of the websites that you're going to need to know, places that will be helpful for you to get information and check how much you're getting paid, so on and so forth. So, the first one, I think it may become an obsolete scenario here, but agent.penlife.com, okay? You guys seen that website before, or have you gotten that web address? Okay, so agent.penlife.com, that's going to be the producer's site for Pennsylvania Life, which is the underlying parent company of all the companies that we work with, okay? And your username, until you change it, says PL and then whatever your agent number is, okay? So if you don't have an agent number yet, you'll get it. You'll get an email instructing you how to go to all of these different places. And your password will just be your agent number until you change it. I don't really care, so I've never changed mine. So if you guys want to go look at my stuff, you're more than welcome to, okay? But on this site, what you're going to see is you're just going to have some basic information. AppointMyAgent.com, this is going to be some of the areas for licensing scenarios that you may have coming up. Community CCRX, this is helping us access things for our Part D prescription drug programs. Agent Link, all of the Penn Life stuff is being shifted over to Agent Link. We're in the middle of merging these websites together, and so most of the information that you're going to be looking for regarding pending business, regarding compensation, it's actually going to be found on the Agent Link side as opposed to the Pennsylvania Life side, but they're both active right now. So I just need to show you this. This NAPA right here, this is for errors and omissions insurance, okay? You can get errors and omissions coverage straight through the company. They've got a relationship with the NAPA folks. And you have to have errors and omissions coverage. Going back to that concept of lawsuits, maybe these families ever decide that they want to sue you, you should have the errors and omissions so you're not coming out of your own pocket to pay for those suits should you be found at fault. LMS, lead management system, that's something that your managers are going to walk through with you, but ultimately if you're purchasing leads, we can give them to you in an electronic format, or we can email them, or we can print them out and hand them to you. So but this is an access to the LMS site. WebCE, all of you guys are going to be responsible for doing continuing education hours every couple of years, and so this is an access to WebCE to be able to get in and do any and all of the coursework that you would have to do in order to keep your license current. Okay. UAM University, Universal American University, this is an area with all sorts of different training scenarios for you, different videos and tutorials and so forth, where you can go in and you can do additional training classes. I'm not going to walk through all this in detail, I just kind of want to show you guys where it is so that you know that it's out there, okay? There's lots of stuff. You can get to your agent email here, change your password here. A lot of the major goings on about the company and what's going on will be right here, okay? Right on the page as soon as you open it up. Product forms, if you need additional information, these are companies that we work with. You can click here and it'll send you to where you need to go to get that information. Pending business, again, a lot of this is transitioning over to Agent Link, but a lot of times you can just go in here and pop in your agent number and submit. Now, unfortunately, there's not going to be really anything that pulls up under my name because, well, actually, I come up under my name. There you go. That was for my my own disability coverage. I didn't submit payment, so they declined me. But anyway, you can go in there, punch in your agent number, and it'll pull up all your cases. The reason I only have one is because most of my business is through these outside companies anyway. Okay. Reports. You can come in here, and this was really a commission report. For whatever reason, I don't have any commissions showing up in on the site right now. I think it's because of the transition and crossover, but as you guys start selling, you may want to check both sites just to make sure that you're getting paid appropriately. But you can simply go in there and pull up commissions as well as pulling up commissions from previous time frames. Okay, like I could go in here and I could pull that up for you guys just real quick. Let's say I want to see August of 2010. So I could come in here and I could look through all these cases and see, all right, this is for American investors, and my client's name began with CAR. And this was their policy number. This was through Lincoln. This was her policy number, so on and so forth. And these are the amounts of money that were either paid and or not paid moving through. Okay. The negative numbers is payouts. Okay. When you see the parentheses, that's something that they actually paid you. The other is the accounting, trying to show that this came in, this went out. Okay. They're always trying to show an appropriate balance on there. So let's just give you some idea about what that would actually look like. Okay. So let's go back to the agent home site. Let's go take a look at Agent Link real quick, because again, this is the site that I think is going to be more relevant for you moving forward. And you have a UA number, a Universal American number. Obviously, I have not committed mine to memory. And then the password is the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. Okay. I always access it through Pennsylvania Life site. Obviously, you can see the website is agentlink.universalamerican.com if you just want to go straight to that site. Okay. So we'll log in. Any obviously things that they want to see abruptly, they'll put up there first and foremost to make you close out of it. I was just talking about the moratorium of sales on the Medicare Advantage products that you guys have already been introduced to briefly. Again, you're going to have lots of information here. Agent Home is just going to bring you back to this first page. There's an info center. Again, getting information on any of these things that you're looking for. You can pop in here, read up on it, get the information that you seek. Traditional e-apps, they've actually gone to a variety of different products where they're actually trying to do an electronic application for you. And you can talk to your manager about that, but you can just jump in there and say, all right, I wanted to do a cancer policy for South Carolina through Pennsylvania Life for the electronic application, and it'll come through here. You can go tell it to do whatever you want to do, okay? I think you guys are all smart folks. I don't need to walk you through this step by step, but just know that that stuff is available for you. I think reports is going to be a major thing that you guys are going to want to do. The enrollment reports up here, this is going to talk mostly about MAs. Production reports this is going to be about cases that you have written, okay? So, production report, let's go in here, and I'll just say I want to look at my stuff, and you can do it in Excel, you can have it in a text format, or you can just look at it in a screen format. The screen one comes up the fastest, so for this particular thing, we'll just do that. So we'll click on that. Like I said, they're transitioning everything over. It's going to show what premium I brought in for annuities, and this obviously from outside companies. Let's talk about the amount of annuities submitted comparatively to the amount actually issued. And as we scroll down here, it's going to show us who and what has been either submitted and or issued. Okay, so you can take a look at your cases as they're rolling through. It's a way for you to keep track of the business that you got out there, because hopefully you guys are going to be writing so much business that you can't even keep up with it. You need a report to tell you what's going on. Okay, so these are premium dollars, not commission dollars. Okay, just so you guys are aware of that. Shows you the company that you got out here on the other side. So just a report for you. Okay. Go back to the report screen. You can go to commission report. Commission report is going to look a little different. You can do some downloading in Excel or on the screen. I prefer the Excel download for the commissions report because it gives me a little bit more information. It's going to take a little while to process, but it's going to get you a little bit more accurate information about what you're looking at. So if you'll bear with the computer just a moment, I'll show you what it pulls up. It's going to pull it up in an Excel spreadsheet. It's just going to be a nice full-blown spreadsheet, and it's going to look very confusing to you. I just want to show it to you guys once. You're going to want to sit down with your manager and walk through this stuff again once you have your own cases to look at. Okay? Do all of you know how to manipulate Excel to a certain extent? Okay. I'll tell you what. Oh, there it goes. All right. So, in this particular situation, I'm just going to walk through some of these things. Obviously, out here you have your agent ID. If you're a manager, you'll have different people that show up underneath you. Obviously, that's not going to be the case for you guys for right now, but it may be in the future. And it's going to show us the name of the agent that was responsible for that case. It's going to give us the policy number that it's referring to. I still don't know what HIC number is, and it doesn't show up in any of that report, so it doesn't really matter. Here's going to be our client right here, okay? You can obviously go and pull those out if you want to see exactly what client it was for you, or you can shrink it back. This is the company that it would have been through, so this would have been, I don't even know what PY stands for. This is Lincoln Financial, but this is Pennsylvania Life. I don't know why it says PM. This would have been Marquette, a med subs that I would have sold in the past, so on and so forth. This will be your premium. So this is what was actually paid this particular month. So you can see if they paid their premium or not, and I'll come down here and I'll show you that it even shows you when things go bad. See how it says lapse there, or premium received, and or. So just a variety of different codes that you're going to be looking at. Earnings, this is going to tell you what was actually made for this activity that happened, okay? Advances is going to show something that was actually paid out or charged back. In this particular case, Ms. Elizabeth Grady had her client that the policy lapsed, and so they hit her back for $20.84 in that particular case, okay? Earnings over here doesn't necessarily mean what you were paid, because sometimes you'll be receiving an advance of the 12-month commission. And for accounting purposes, it's going to show as they continue paying against that 12 months, you're going to get an advance where it shows your payment. Let's see, okay, I'm trying to find something that's actually reasonable. This is, okay, it's not a good example. I apologize. But what's going to happen is the earnings are going to show that, okay, let's say for instance right here, shows an earning of $1.69. Okay, so if whatever commission she made on that little tiny policy, she made $1.69. They're going to show that they withheld $1.69 because that's showing us that she already got paid that $1.69. Okay. Same thing with the 486, the 812, the 212, the 646. More than likely, these are renewals, guys. Don't this is not necessarily a first year commission, so I don't think that you're only going to make $1 a pop. Okay. But it just shows us, and if it's something that you actually should be getting paid on in this particular case, it'll show our advance over here. Okay. $24.08 or whatever that case might be. Okay. So advance is really where you're getting paid. Earnings is going to show what was actually earned for that period of time. Adjustments, I encourage you to call the company and ask them why they're adjusting things for you. And this is going to show you the kind of thing that happened. Now, if you want to go in order of date that things took place, you can go in. Are you guys familiar with how to do your filters and so forth? Now you can filter the data on Excel.
Yeah.
You can go in, you hit data, you come over here to filter, click on filter, and let's just say that we want to filter, and let's go over here to transaction date. We can do A to Z as opposed to Z to A, whatever the case might be. Just flip it around, and it'll show me the most current things first, as opposed to the other way around, just for those of you that have never worked with this stuff before. Okay. So use the software program to show you whatever it is that you feel you need to do. But this is where you're going to find your commissions and earnings situations up here. So I'm just going to close that out. Not going to bother saving changes. Different sales events that may be coming up, we can click on that. Just give us the information. It'll give us a calendar of what's going on. Come on, buddy. There we go. Doesn't look like much happening in the month of January. Okay. Administration, changing passwords, update information, enrollments, new application or pending application, contact the company. You can also go back to our reports screen as well. We can go in here to pending business. It'll pull up pending business. Unfortunately, I don't have any pending business in these companies, so there's nothing I'm going to be able to look at. I have to go to ING's website or American Investor's website or Lincoln's website because those outside companies don't necessarily show up in this particular pending report. Okay.
Does it show up pretty quickly after you submit an application? Or?
Once the company's had a chance to actually process it, you guys will turn it in. John will key it into our system, then he'll send it off. Within a couple of days, it should show up on the report. Why, you have cases that aren't showing up?
I have one that's not there. But
That's when I get on the phone and call.
okay.
If you have a case that's not showing up in the system, I'm going to call and find out why it's not showing up. Okay? And sometimes it's as easy as still sitting on the desk. Sometimes it's we never got it. So it's worth following up on. Guys, you basically are running your own business, so certainly you want to stay on top of this stuff. Okay? Any questions on any of this stuff? I mean, typically the best thing about websites is going around and playing around with them yourself. I just want to kind of give you some ideas as to what kind of information is out there for you so that you can know where to go to look for it. Obviously, your managers are going to be a resource for you as well, so always touch base with them. I'm going to log out of this for now. We're going to shoot on over to Google real quick so I can pull up that email I was asking John to send to me. Can't even type my own last name. Good thing I'm good with numbers. There it is.
Up there, Mike.
Alright, so this is what we call the Project 15 report, okay guys? Project 15 report is something that we request all of you submit every single week, typically by Thursday or Friday morning, okay? What it's going to do is it's going to give us the ability to keep track on how you're doing, okay? And we all do this, including myself. So John's going to send out this email to you, and I believe he does send it to the upstate as well, and ask them to do it as well. And it's as simple as when you go in and hit reply, it's going to pull this up again, and it'll actually give you the ability to fill in the information. So you go in and you fill it in. So we're looking at agent name. You type your name in there. Number of dials. So as you're on the phone, you should be keeping track of the amount that you dial the phone. Okay. Did they talk to you about that when they did the telephone training?
I saw everybody is.
Okay. Yeah, there's little
dials
sheets.
and actually how many people you actually talk to.
Yep. There's a little sheet, and it's just a little matrix sort of looking thing. You just put X's every time you dial the phone. It's pretty monotonous and mundane, but it helps you keep up with what you need to do. And what the reason for that is so that we can make sure that you're spending enough time on the phone if you're not getting enough appointments, or if you're spending enough time you don't have the appointments, maybe something's going on with what you're saying on the phone. Okay, all these things have a purpose. We're trying to keep up with that. So number of dials is compared to number of contacts. Contacts is how many people you actually spoke to. Appointments set, how many did you actually get on the books? Of those that were on the books, how many did you keep? Of the appointments that you kept, how many times did you actually get in and do a presentation? So we saw the people, we talked to them, but maybe we didn't make a presentation, whatever. Apps is just that. How many applications did you take? If you split a case with somebody, you get credit for half of an application. Okay? If you write it by yourself, you get credit for the whole application. Commission, how much money did you make? Okay? So what was your commission? You guys will get copies of the commission breakdowns and so forth, so you can calculate that when you make your sales. NAP is new annualized premium. Okay? So how much if that thing costs $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year. That's $1,200 of new annualized premium. We're looking for the amount of premium over the course of the year. Okay? So if you're taking a monthly payment, multiply by 12, get that figure. Referrals, how many referrals did you get? Did you get to a house, you do a fact finder, maybe a presentation, maybe a sale? But at the end of it, before you left, it's as simple as saying, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, hopefully you found some value in what I did here today. Is there anyone else that you know that would find value in speaking with me? Get some names, numbers, and there's your next call list, okay? Silent partner is something that we've kind of put on hold, so don't worry about that, but SP stands for silent partner. We already talked about 6-week roll. You guys familiar with the 6-week roll figure, the average of your last 6 weeks? I'm going to give you guys a freebie for the first 6 weeks. Don't do this. You don't have a 6-week roll, okay? T4s, how many T4s did you do? How many med subs did you do? TD stands for Tribute Direct. It's also a program that we've kind of put on hiatus for the time being, so don't worry about it. Secure Guard 2. How many Secure Guards did you write? So it's just a basic breakdown of your production for the week, okay? If you sold annuities as opposed to med subs or Secure Guards, then don't worry about those. Just put 0, okay? It'll just be counted in your application section. And if there's any notes, if there's any specific things that you feel that the management team ought to know about what you did for that week, put it on there, okay? Maybe if you didn't have enough appointments, say I was sick, or had doctor's appointments, or personal issues, or whatever the case might be, so at least we know that you weren't just slacking off, okay? If you scheduled lots of appointments and no sales, say I got there and a lot of folks just didn't have anything that I could help them with, whatever the case might be. And if it was just a normal week and you had nothing to say, then don't say anything, okay? But every week this is going to be sent to you. If you don't do it, John is going to create problems for you. He's very good at being a pain in the butt, all right?
Well, he's changed the due date now, Thursday nights.
Yep, that's what he wants you to do. He wants to have it due by Thursday night. I'm going to tell him he needs to change his email because it still says 10:30 Friday, okay? But this is a Project 15 report, guys. This helps us figure out what's going on with you. You guys have the appointment books yet, the scheduled books? You do? Okay. Can I see it, or did you bring it?
Mine's at hotel.
Okay, you have yours?
I don't have it.
Okay,
I
can I
missed
see that real quick?
Tuesday when
I won't trash it, I promise. This is your appointment book, guys. It's pretty easy. I'll put those right back in there for you, Margaret. This is your appointment book, okay? I think that they're for sale. I don't know what you guys pay for them.
$35.
$35. It's a very awesome tool for you to use regarding your schedule. Okay, it's got it broken down in the half hour for you. Okay, obviously your dates and so on and so forth. If you look down here at the bottom, there's some additional things here that might really help you keep track with your Project 15 numbers. There's even a mileage log, expenses, okay? Fact finders, commission, premium, referrals, T4, appointments set, appointments kept, presentation, okay? All of this stuff is in the bottom of this book. It should be very easy for you as you go along. Maybe you just get back in the car and you make a tally after you've seen somebody, or you set your appointments and you go in here. But it's very easy to track your business and your activity using this tool if you will use it, okay? Otherwise, you're going to find yourself on Thursday nights trying to go back through and go, I did this many appointments, and I saw this number of people, and how many fact finders did I do, so on and so forth. Keep up with it on a daily basis. It just becomes habit, becomes part of what you're doing all the time, okay? So fantastic tool. Also, too, frequent contact list. Maybe you want to keep Medicare's number in here. Maybe you want to keep insurance companies' numbers in here. Maybe the underwriting hotline's number in here. Whatever the case might be. But you have these abilities, or you have these tools here for you. You also got, there's a lot of stuff in here. I want you to look at this as well. There's goal tallies and so forth, and scoreboards keeping track of what you've done on a monthly basis to kind of help you see how you're progressing through your career in each particular year. They've got quarterly breakdowns. You have a referral tracker back here, so as you're getting those referrals, if you're taking this with you, you can go ahead and pop it right into your book. You'll always have it with you. You can call if somebody stands you up. Maybe you got a referral you haven't gotten in touch with yet. Flip open your referral section of your book, make a phone call, go see somebody else. Okay? Trying to get back here to the business record. Okay. This is actually tracking your business, guys. We're all in business for ourselves, and I don't know any company anywhere that is successful without keeping up with what they're actually doing, right? You always want to keep up with what's going on and what's happening in here. So if you'll notice here on your business record, you got your client's name, referred by so-and-so, what product you sold them, the date it was sold, what commission you expect, your premium, transaction type, did you get a check or didn't you? And then over here is business being paid, okay? What day did you get paid? How much did you get paid? This is a great way to go back and do a justification of business sold as compared to business paid. That way, if somebody messed up, maybe they keyed in your commission wrong, you're going to catch it. Maybe you have a case that you feel was issued, but you didn't get paid on at all. It got left out altogether. I mean, guys, there are people everywhere along the way in this process that are doing things, some automated, some manually. People make mistakes. This is your money. This is your business. My recommendation is keep up with it so you can catch those mistakes. Otherwise, just going along off in la la land, and if they, maybe they didn't pay you $800 that you're owed. By the way, the company still owes me $800. Why did I catch it? Because I keep up with it. I track it. Okay? These are very, very good tools for you to use to keep up with everything that you need. Okay? Here's a pending list as well. If you want to keep track of your pending cases until they get issued. Okay? Whatever the case might be. Lots and lots of good stuff in this book for you to use and continue using to make you a successful professional in our business. Give Margaret her book back. Thank you, Margaret. So those of you, you said you had that. Did you look through it and you see all that stuff in there? Looks like some pretty good stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, so we've got the Project 15s. We've got the appointment books. We've looked through the websites. I've got you for another 47 minutes. So I'm going to do a couple of other things as well. Just hold on to these for me for just a second, guys. But I want you guys to go through this stuff and go giving yourself a 1 to 10 as to your level of understanding on the various issues that you should have covered in training class. There were things that were left out. Allows us as a management team to understand what was left out so that we can make sure that we impart that knowledge to you at a later point in time. Okay? So we're going to do that in just a moment. Go through one of these other things. You guys did go through the expectation list? Did you? Cornerstone expectation looks like this.
Yeah, I believe so.
I must have done that
Looks
Monday.
familiar.
Looks familiar.
Well,
Did you guys sign them and turn them back in?
No.
Okay, let's do it again then. This is an expectation list, guys. This is pretty simple stuff. But I'm gonna have you sign off on it. Why am I having you sign off on it? Because if you didn't say that it was ever given to you, then we have a hard time holding you accountable to that system. You guys are gonna find out what we're doing is we're a bunch of independent business owners trying to create a structure and a system for you to help make you successful. That's why we're going to continue hearing the terms accountability. That's why we're going to continue coming back to these concepts. Oh, I'm on this baby. Okay. I'm going to keep coming back to these concepts because this has been what's proven to work for us. Okay. So it's made other people successful. It's made me successful. So just real quick, we'll go back over it. Number one, dressing for success. I'm a big believer, guys, that you function the way you feel. And the way you feel has a lot to do with the way you present yourself. So professional attire, in my opinion, is a must, okay? You come in looking sloppy, think you're going to sound sloppy on the phone, I think you're going to act sloppy in your paperwork. If you go out in the field sloppy, that's going to be the first assumption that people make about you when you walk into their home. This guy or woman does not care about how they look, so why should I care about what they say, okay? The way you present yourself is the way the world takes you in, okay? So dress for success on Tuesdays. And in all field days. Friday is a casual day for us, guys. It's the weekend. Dress it down. Jeans, but don't look sloppy. I mean, still business casual is appropriate, okay? Be ready for success. Be on time, okay? Guys, I'm here every morning, no later than 8:15 on office days. And you can hear it from all the agents around. I'm here kind of trying to crack the whip, getting everybody moving. There's lots of people that come in here late. They're choosing to fail, okay? Legally speaking, we can get on the phone at 8:30. Our marketplace, guys, tends to answer the phone most often between 8:30 and 11 o'clock in the morning. So if we're not here at 8 or 8:15 and ready to get on the phone by 8:30, how can we possibly be expected to be ready and at it at 8:30 to do our very best, giving ourselves the best opportunity we can to be successful when we're making our phone calls, okay? Talk to any agent out there. The phones are some of the hardest about what we do. So why not give yourself the biggest advantage and simply be on time, be ready to get on the phone by the time 8:30 rolls around, okay? Tuesday training classes. We do Tuesday trainings every single Tuesday at 2 o'clock. You need to attend those. Friday meetings at 11 o'clock. You need to attend those. These are mandatory meetings, okay? Must maintain an average of $1,000 per week in submitted commission. $1,000 a week is the expectation. $750 is kind of that blood goal. Absolutely, without fail, you should be at $750 a week. $1,000 a week should at least be your target, okay? Because our business has a natural level of drop off. Not every case you submit is going to get issued. Not every case that gets issued is the client going to keep. So to maintain $750, you should be shooting for at least $1,000 and submit it, okay? It gives you that window of opportunity because we know something's not going to stick, okay? Maintain a 6-week rolling average of $750 or lower. We're going to start a consultation process. This is not to beat you over the head. This is to help motivate you and, again, find out what's wrong, okay? After 6 weeks, if you're not doing a $750 roll, we're going to sit down with you the first time. We're going to give you a letter, say that we're going to give you 2 weeks to get that up. So in 2 weeks, we expect you to have $1,500 worth of submitted commission and at least 2 applications. If that has not been accomplished, then after that, we're going to give you another letter. We're going to give you another 2 weeks. And after that, it's going to be a third and final consultation, and it will be up to the management team to decide whether or not this is the right deal for you. Okay? Obviously, extenuating circumstances happen. We're not here to be nasty to anybody, but we're also not here to watch anybody fail. Okay? So this is why we have these systems instituted. Fact finders completed or apps will not be accepted. No exceptions. What does that mean, guys? If we're skipping that fact-finding process, we as an organization can't determine if the business you wrote is suitable for that client because we don't know what happened. We don't know what their situation is. This is how seriously we take this fact-finder and needs assessment. So when you're turning in an application, it has to be accompanied by a fact-finder. or we will not send that business in. We can't stress that enough about the fact-finding process. Here it is again. You write the business, we don't care. You still haven't done a fact finder, forget it. Okay? Make you go back and get it. And I've done that plenty of times. Communication and development. Communicate with your manager during and at the end of all field days. Not reporting is unacceptable. Guys, all we're asking is for a quick phone call or a text message and say what you did for the day. Again, helps us keep up with what you're doing. Because everybody, and when we leave the office, we all go in different directions, we all do different things, we all have different circumstances. If you're not checking in with your manager, then you're off in la-la land, and the structure that we're trying to provide is worthless. Okay? So communication with your manager. Okay? Reply to the email to Project 15. Obviously, we already talked about that. 100% commitment, team-oriented, and positive mental attitude. I believe that those two things go together. Guys, negativity in our business, and really in any business, but specifically in a sales business, negativity is like a cancer. If you are negative and you're working in my office, I'm going to talk with you real fast. If you're negative in the upstate, I'm hoping that the management team up there would do the same. Okay? And if people around you are being negative, try to remove yourself from their sphere of influence so that you don't have that weighing down on you. Okay? We all have choices as adults. Hopefully your choice is to be successful. Guys,
Number 7, has that time changed, you said, to Thursday?
yeah, I think John's wanting everybody by Thursday night because he spends Fridays running around trying to get everybody to do it. So just go ahead and note that for Thursday night. What I'm going to ask of each of you guys is to put your signature on this expectation list, and I'm going to take it back up from you. This just says that you guys understand what is expected of you. The rest we put on ourselves as a management team. Okay? Everybody agree those are reasonable expectations?
Certainly.
Okay. I think so. You guys want to take just a minute and run down that cornerstone check for understanding? Just put it 1 to 10. Do you understand it or don't you? If it's something you haven't covered, just you can put a little slash. It hasn't been handled yet. Okay? Obviously, we know some of these things will not have been covered yet.
What's Gryphon? Am I saying that?
Griffin?
Griffin?
Griffin is an outdated system, so skip it.
Just never been saying
Griffin formerly was the system that we used to scrub all of our phone calls against the National Do Not Call network. Because National Do Not Call registry, if you're calling somebody on the Do Not Call network and they choose to complain, can mean as much as $11,000 fine for the organization. So we used to use Griffin as an attempt to keep us from being fined. Now all of our leads are already pre-scrubbed through the National Do Not Call network, so we don't have to do that.
Every once in a while I get somebody that will say that. You know, every once in a blue moon. I haven't had it a lot,
Yeah.
but I have.
Yeah, there's no perfect system either, unfortunately.
It's
Things
just, they may have just recently got on it too.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you know, fucking.
But we have taken the steps that can be reasonably expected by the powers that be, that we are doing our best to not call people on the Do Not Call network.
Why does it have software by the Equitable Legacy?
Well, there used to be software for it. There's no longer. Like I said, I
Another
think,
scratcher.
yeah, there's a couple of things on there that we just have to.
I just want to make sure. I thought I haven't seen that, so
Like I said, if you haven't seen it,
probably didn't hear anymore.
it's either not here anymore or hasn't been addressed yet. I know this is not the end of your training class, but I'm the compliance guy, so I'm seeing what you know and don't know. What's been covered, what hasn't been covered. So I can go smack the managers around that did the training. They were supposed to talk to you about that.
Now, I missed 1 day of training because of the exams. So
Okay. Then your level of understanding on those things would probably be a 1 or a slash. If you guys are done, I'll grab them from you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. That's not good. You have a level of understanding at a 7 on annuities? That's awesome.
I didn't
I was-
Oh, you, okay.
I used to program for the programming side, so I do have some understanding of movies and
Cool.
life.
Awesome. Not so much on the Medicare presentation though, huh?
Not the presentation itself.
Mm.
Let's sit through that a couple times.
Okay.
Go up.
And you're a sponge. Everything that you've been introduced to, you've taken pretty well, huh?
Mhm.
Good, 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 good. Can I have your expectations?
Uh-huh, of course. I wasn't here Monday, so I didn't get the introduction. I know a little of
You
it just
know it
from
anyway.
here.
You know it anyway. And you understand everything, huh?
Whatever is told to me. Whatever is not.
The proof is in the pudding. Oh, and
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do now, guys, is I have a half hour of your time. It's not on the agenda, but I tend to switch it up a little bit. And since we're recording, we might as well do a quick annuity basics. You guys okay with that? Good. You don't have a choice. Well, you can get up and leave if you want. That wouldn't be very nice. Okay. Just a show of hands, how many of you guys know anything about annuities at all?
not to be dangerous.
Mark gives me. And you, sir? No?
About annuities,
Mm-hmm.
whatever is told till now.
Okay,
I understand.
so basically nothing then,
Yep.
because we haven't talked about annuities at all. All right, so we're going to start from the beginning then. I want you guys to understand, when you're looking at the term annuity, you're going to find a lot of different adjectives, a lot of different descriptors about the word annuity itself. And I think a lot of people find themselves getting caught up with these adjectives and finding themselves confused because there's so many words. If any of you guys took foreign language or speaking another language or anything like that, if you know anything about German, the Germans like to take words and just smash them together. My degree in school was German and international business. And so you see these words that are this long, and all they're doing is taking a lot of words that describe each other and putting them all together. Instead of coming up with a different word, they just smash them all together. Okay? Well, annuity companies do the same kind of thing. They take all those adjectives and descriptors and whoop, put it all together. So you might find something along the lines of a deferred flexible premium equity indexed annuity. That's a lot of description about one product, right? So I want to walk through very briefly with you guys about what all of these different descriptors are, different types of annuities that are out there, and some of the features and benefits that annuities have that our clients would actually be interested in knowing about, okay? The kind of enough to be dangerous about annuities so that you can speak enough about them to schedule those go-backs for yourself in the house, okay? So the term annuity, anybody have any idea what the term annuity means? Simplest form. I know I'm short on time, so I won't wait for an answer. I'm a lefty, so I apologize. My handwriting gets sloppy as I go. Annuity means systematic income payment. That is the simplest definition of the term annuity. Okay? So you guys know of annuities that are out there already, just may not be aware that they are annuities. Let's say, for instance, the lottery. Okay? The lottery, you win the lottery, you get two choices, right? You can take a lump sum, which won't be nearly as much money as they said you actually won, or they'll give you the lump sum that you got, but it's going to pay out over your lifetime or over 20 years or whatever the case might be, right? The second version is an annuity. Okay? You heard a lot of government retirees talk about their retirement annuity. That's their pension. Okay? But it is a systematic income payment that pays every single month, pays them the same amount of money. Boom, 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 boom. Unless there's cost of living adjustments involved and so forth. Okay? But the term annuity itself is just the income payment itself. Okay? But we're talking to clients about annuities from the investment side of things, from the investment perspective. So let's talk about some of the different time descriptors that we might find in an annuity, okay? One is going to be immediate. And the other will be deferred. Those are the two different types of annuities when you're talking about descriptors of time Those are the only two that exist. You either have an immediate annuity, which is an immediate systematic income payment, or you have a deferred annuity, which is a systematic income payment that's being deferred, pushed off until some point in time. 99% of the time in our business, guys, we are writing deferred annuities. Again, we're talking to clients about annuities for the investment concept, the investment perspective that they bring to the table, not necessarily the income perspective, and sometimes both, okay? But a lot of our folks are looking at that. So here's your time descriptors, okay? Immediate and deferred. Now there's also going to be different investment descriptors. You have fixed, indexed, and variable. Okay? A fixed annuity. You guys familiar with CDs? You know, in a CD, you put money in, they guarantee a specific rate of return for a specific rate of time, and at the end of it, it's done. Right? Same thing with a fixed annuity. The company is going to guarantee a rate of return for a specific period of time. At the end of that period of time, there will be a different rate of return. And after the period of time that's been agreed upon in the contract itself, the annuity will be done. Client can take their money and walk away. Okay? It's a fixed annuity. So I liken it to the CD of the annuity world. Fixed annuity. Fixed index annuity, my favorite type of annuities. Okay? As an annuity that you can't lose value in, which gives us that fixed concept, but its growth is based on an index within the marketplace itself. You guys are familiar with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500. All of these are indices within the marketplace. Okay? So the growth of a fixed index annuity says when the market goes up, or when those indices go up, our value goes up with it. When the market goes down, we do not, because it is a fixed product. Okay? So you guys are licensed to sell both of the first two, fixed and fixed index. We'll go into more detail about that, but I have a half hour. I can talk about annuities all day. So, all right. So fixed index. Variable, exactly what it sounds like. It is a variable contract, which means that its value can go up or down because it's invested directly in the stock market. This is a securities type annuity. You guys are not securities licensed as far as I know, in which case you don't have the license to give advice on those products. You don't have the license to sell those products, okay?
But it's 65 thing.
Series 6, 63. Yeah, I'm a 65, which gives me kind of a blanket freedom of flexibility to talk about all sorts of things. But the variable annuity, you need, I forget which one it is, either 6 or 63 to sell it. Okay? I'm not a big fan of variable annuities because they're very expensive and people can lose their shirts. Okay? Might as well be buying mutual funds. Okay? But that's the investment descriptors that you'll find on the annuities. Then you talk about funding descriptors. There's only two. You have single premium and flexible premium. I don't think there needs to be a lot of discussion about what that means. Single premium product is exactly what it says. You pay once. Just like a CD, you don't buy a CD and then keep adding money to it. You buy a CD and leave it alone. So a single premium product functions the exact same way. You buy that, you leave it alone, you let it go. Okay? Flexible premium, something that you probably more often than not will see in retirement style annuities where people are wanting to continue contributing. I know I have an IRA that's an annuity, and I want to put money in every year so I can make my tax deductions. Okay? So I have a flexible premium annuity so I can keep adding money to it. Okay? Simple, right? See if I've left anything out. So we've got time, we've got investment, we've got funding. I think that should be about it for right now, okay? But often, many times, you're going to see on an annuity contract, when you ask somebody to pull out their accounts because you've built such a good rapport and done such a good fact finding, you realize they've got an annuity that you want to look at and help them with. And when you pull that contract out because you asked for it, right? You're going to see on there that they have a single premium, deferred, fixed index annuity. And I want you guys to understand what you're looking at when you do. Those descriptors are just looking at different things, okay? So as long as you keep it simple, understand what you're looking at, don't let all the words that you see on the contract scare you, okay? Because they're just telling you a little bit more about what it is, okay? So, the only thing I'll tell you is if you see those two words in the same contract, you're looking at something completely wrong, okay? So, this is some basics about annuities, okay? At least about the descriptions of annuities. Everybody got that? Okay. Just want to talk to you about one other quick thing. Types of money, okay? Two types of money in the investment world. You have qualified and non-qualified. Anybody guess what it is that's either qualified or non-qualified about those dollars?
Qualified as pre-tax or tax deferred.
You're on the right track, okay? Qualified means that it qualifies for some sort of tax preferential treatment. Doesn't necessarily mean tax deferred, doesn't necessarily mean pre-tax, but it has some sort of tax preferential treatment about that money. So let's come up with some examples of qualified money so you guys can clue in on what that means. A 401k is qualified money. In that particular situation, those are pre-tax dollars. An IRA is qualified money. It's not pre-tax, but it's tax deductible. Okay? A Roth IRA is not pre-tax or tax deductible, but after 5 years, those dollars come out of that investment tax-free. So that's another type of tax qualification that these dollars have. So not necessarily any of it, but there is some sort of tax preferential treatment. It qualifies by IRS standards to receive tax preferential treatment. Okay? We can go on and on. There's lots of different types of qualified money. Heard of thrift savings plans, also known as TSPs. See them a lot with government retirees. That's a qualified plan. TSAs, tax sheltered annuities. That's a qualified plan, a lot of times seen in the school systems. 403B. 403Bs are typically 401ks set up by nonprofit organizations. There are such things as simple IRAs, SEP IRAs, Roth IRAs, all sorts of different types of retirement style accounts. For the most part, if you have a qualified plan, it is somehow linked to the concept of retirement. Okay? That's qualified money. So non-qualified money. What do you think non-qualified money is? We just talked about qualified money. Non-qualified money obviously does not qualify for any tax preferential treatment. So what is non-qualified money? My income. I don't qualify for any tax preferential treatment. I pay taxes on all of it. Money that you have sitting in your bank account. That's non-qualified money. It's just sitting there, but you get taxed on the interest. Most CDs, non-qualified money. Most brokerage accounts, non-qualified money. Okay? Once they have some sort of that connection, there are such things as IRA CDs. There are IRAs and brokerage accounts and all that sort of thing. But if it has no affiliation with those qualified retirement plans, then it's considered non-qualified. You can also look at non-qualified as after-tax money. Money that's already had taxes paid on it or is going to have taxes paid on it that year. Okay? Non-qualified money. Does not qualify for tax preferential treatment. So, annuities can be either one. Big difference is we just have to know what you're putting into it so you can write it correctly on the application. You also need to know what it's coming out of so that we can make sure that we do the transfers appropriately so that we don't cause a huge tax problem for our clients. You pull money out of an IRA and put it into a non-qualified annuity, guess what? The client's going to pay taxes on every cent that you just moved. They're going to be pissed. They're going to probably come sue you. I would. Okay? And trust me guys, I've made these mistakes too. I've taken non-qualified money and put it into an IRA on accident. I caught it as I was delivering the account to my client. But what would have happened if I let that stay? Now all of a sudden she's got money she's already paid taxes on. As far as the IRS is concerned, we just put it back into an IRA. So when she took it out, she would have paid taxes again. So she would have been taxed twice on that money. I think there's some laws written into the tax law that say we're not supposed to do that, right? There are. So, qualified, non-qualified. We just have to stipulate which kind it is. Annuities can be both. Any questions? Everybody Does it make sense which types of programs are qualified and which aren't? Okay. I know I'm going fast, so I can usually make this a 4-hour presentation. I'm trying to make it a half hour. All right. So let's talk features and benefits. You guys, has anybody that's talked to you this week at all done a features and benefits breakdown on any product?
Not a breakdown.
No. You guys familiar from previous lives or previous careers the concept of features and benefits as a selling tool? No? Okay. Well, I'm proud to be able to show this to you. Features and benefits. Every product out there, I don't care if it's a gallon of milk or an annuity, has features and benefits. Okay? Features are going to be the things that the pros need to know. Okay? So I'm talking about annuities. I want to talk about all the different aspects of the annuity that are fantastic, that make people want to buy that annuity, but it's using the industry lingo. The benefits are why the client cares. Okay? Because most of the folks that you're going to be talking to aren't going to say, well, I understand all the features about the annuity you just gave me. If you walked in and say, well, this is tax deferred and this is blah, 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 blah. If you're talking to a guy that's worked in a steel mill his whole life, he doesn't care, nor does he know what you just said.
What does it mean to me?
But why does he care? That's the benefit, and that's the way you need to be talking to your clients. I'm going to walk through the features with you, and then we can go through together and come up with the benefits, okay? Just taking from industry lingo to layman's terms. That's really all features and benefits are. It will also help you guys understand annuities a little bit better. So, I'll give you the first one. Tax deferred. Annuities grow tax deferred, guys. Okay? Tax deferred meaning even if it's a non-qualified account, qualified accounts already grow tax deferred, whether you knew it or not. Qualified accounts, you don't pay taxes on it until you pull the money out, just like an IRA. Okay? But non-qualified accounts, let's go back to the CD example. Every year that you earn interest, you get a 1099 from the bank that you have your CD with. There's no deferral of that taxation. Even if it's a 5-year CD, any interest that you earn, you're going to get a 1099 for it. You pay taxes on it this year. Okay? Well, an annuity, annuities grow tax deferred. So if you've got people that are just saving money for a rainy day and they want to be as tax efficient as they possibly can be with those dollars, an annuity is a great way to do it because we're deferring that taxation until they decide they want to use it. Maybe never. A deferred annuity doesn't ever have to be turned into an income stream. It can stay deferred forever. Okay? Again, the term annuity is systematic income payment. But there's no length of time that we have to say, well, that deferral has to stop and we have to start taking it. We can defer it all the way out to death. Okay? But tax deferred is very nice because if I'm not using my money, this is the way I always explain it to my clients, if I'm not using my money, why should the government get to use my money? Right? I don't have any problem paying income tax. I don't necessarily like the amount of income tax that I pay. But I'm a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen of this country, and I'm going to pay my taxes. But if I'm not using that money, if it's money that I'm planning on just putting aside and letting it grow, I'm not using it, so why should Uncle Sam get to use it? Right? Tax deferred. So why does your client care? What's the benefit? Tax deferral is the feature. What's the benefit?
It's more money right then. More
Well,
money in his
well,
pocket.
Since he's not having to pay the tax on that, he can use that untaxed money to grow his account faster.
Okay. We tend to like to say things like compounding interest, right?
Yeah.
Or money grows faster. Either one of those is an acceptable benefit with the tax deferral, right?
So better returns.
Not necessarily better returns. If you give me a CD and an annuity, and you put them side by side, and they both make 4%, well, let's just assume that the taxes that I have to pay on that CD, I'm going to take from the CD. The annuity is always going to grow faster. See what I mean? Because if you have 4% taxable and 4% deferred, and I'm using a part of that growth to pay the taxes that I owe, let's say I'm in a 25% tax bracket. Well, 25% of 4 is 1, right?
Yeah.
Which nets 3. If I'm in a deferred vehicle, I'm not paying anything. Make it 4. Pretty simple, right? Easy cheesy. So, money's going to grow faster than a taxable account would simply because we get to keep all that money inside, which allows for a larger figure to be there to compound on itself. Einstein called compounding interest the 8th wonder of the world. It's amazing what can happen when you can compound interest on top of itself. Okay, let's talk about something else. If you remember back to those examples that I gave you, the 4 that I wrote up there and I asked you to have people rate them. What was another one?
Oh,
Well, this was paying less taxes. That was number 1.
more income.
More income. Okay, so the feature would be lifetime income potential. Okay, that sounds pretty good. What does that mean though? Lifetime income potential. An annuity, guys, go back to the phrasing. The very simplest definition I wrote up on the board first. Annuity is a systematic income payment. And if the client so chooses, they can choose to take that sum of money and turn it into a lifetime income. They can do it over 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, lifetime, whatever. They have all those options, and that's an arrangement that they make with the company. But the annuity itself has the ability to be a lifetime income. So, if your client's main concern is outliving their money, we have the ability to generate a lifetime income with our product or our products. We have a lot of them. Okay? That's pretty good. So what's the benefit?
Better buying power.
You can't outlive your money. If you have a guaranteed lifetime income, it is physically impossible to outlive that money, isn't it? And I promise you, 70% of the people that you sit down with, you ask them what some of their major concerns are about their money, in the top 2, one of them is going to be outliving you. So now we have a program that they can't. That sounds pretty good, huh? Not bad. Simple enough. What was the third one on that list of 4?
Leaving a legacy.
Okay. Any of you guys been a part of the probate system? Ever had to probate a will? You have? Kind of ugly, isn't it?
Yeah,
Kind of long, drawn out, tedious.
almost 2 years.
Okay. So you've had that experience. A lot of our clients have had that experience as well. Maybe it was a spouse, maybe it was a parent, who knows. But the probate system, guys, is a system that we developed, that we actually adopted from England in the 1800s. And all it is a transfer of assets from one party to another, typically upon death. Okay? There's other avenues that the probate courts oversee, but typically upon death is what most folks think about when they're having to go through the probate system. Probate in the state of South Carolina is a minimum of 9 months. It's going to take them a minimum of 9 months to allow any creditors that should be owed money to come and say, oh yeah, that person owes me money, I need to get paid back. Even though they're dead, the estate's going to pay me back. For anybody to contest the estate, so there's an estranged child out here in left field somewhere, and he says, well, that's my daddy too, I want some of that money. He has the ability to do that. 9 months' time they have to come in. And probate is a public record. It's a matter of public record. Anyone can go in and research what's going on, what it's valued at, who the person was, so on and so on and so on. I don't know about you guys, but most folks don't want all of their laundry airing out in front of the entire state, or country for that matter, or world for that matter. Okay? So it's long, it's public, it puts that estate at risk if any creditors or anybody else says that they're owed money, and it's costly. Because anytime you involve courts, you involve attorneys, you involve judges, and guess what? Those guys don't come cheap. So, escaping probate is going to do a variety of things for your client, but there's only a couple things out there that escape probate, guys. Life insurance is one, annuities are another, and the third one is trusts. So either legal documentation that's written the escape of probate into it, an annuity, or a life insurance policy. Those are the only three things that escape probate. Everything else goes through probate. Everything.
It was life insurance, annuities, and what was the third?
And trusts.
Trust.
Okay? So, the escape of probate is a big deal, especially for folks. Imagine this. Imagine sitting down with a 7-year-old widow. She's got 4 grandkids. She's got a nice income. She's got an extra $100,000 sitting off to the side that she doesn't use, doesn't need, leaving it to the kids. Sitting in a CD right now. Now, do you think that you could walk into a home, do a fact finder, ask her what the goal of the money was, and leave it to the kids? You have any concerns about the money? Well, I've seen like I'm paying taxes on this money every year, and I don't really understand why. And have you ever thought about the fact that that's not really an effective estate planning strategy, just leaving it in a CD like that? So all of a sudden, you can come in here with a feature and benefit, quick little snapshot. You've got tax-deferred growth. We'll skip the lifetime income, but we have an escape of probate. So now she no longer will pay taxes on that $100,000. And that money goes straight to the 4 grandkids. Okay? No probate. No time wasting. Goes straight to them. Now, if you've got a program that does that, do you think that client might be interested in hearing a little bit more about what you've got to offer, other than just maybe we can do something better? But a quick little bam bam feature benefit. We can get you tax deferred growth, which means your money will grow faster. You don't have to pay taxes on it until you pull it out. And we've got something that will allow you to escape the probate system, which means that your family gets that money immediately. All we have to do is file a claim. Okay? So the benefit, family gets money faster. Oh, sorry guys, I'm way ahead of myself. Family gets money faster, family gets money cheaper, family gets money privately. That's what escaping probate is going to do for your client. If I told you no more about annuities than just that, and you look at the 4 main things that I put up there as far as concerns that we're asking people to rate, does it not seem that although those 4 concerns are very real, that they're also very much tailored to exactly what annuities do? And knowing nothing else about annuities, don't you feel that you can drum up enough interest just through a simple warm-up, fact finder, and features and benefits discussion that you're going to get enough interest generated that you can get yourself back in that house?
Oh, if they do not identify the beneficiary, that means the process will go to the estate.
Yep.
And then it will
In
go
which
to the
case they will
same,
go probate.
and then it will go through the same process.
You're exactly right. So we always make sure that they are denoting their beneficiary. I will never put on an annuity contract to the estate of, nor will I ever leave it blank, nor will a company issue an annuity that does not have a beneficiary.
No, because if we are providing the information to the insured or to the client, we have to emphasize on how important it is to identify the beneficiary.
Absolutely. 100% absolutely. People say they don't know. I'm going to say pick a friend then. If they got no spouse, no kids, no family, pick somebody. Pick a church. I don't care. Don't put nobody though. You're absolutely right.
Okay, I had this to happen this week. I talked to a woman on the phone, a friend, and she asked why I was in Charleston. I told her, and she said, well, what they do, and I briefly explained it, and I said the word annuities, and she said, oh, what's that, over the phone, and so I briefly told her in 30 seconds or less, and And the situation is that her husband is about 20 years older than she, and he has, I don't know where that money is, and I don't know if she knows where it is. But she caught enough of the annuity to know that there might be something that they need to do.
Absolutely.
But it kind of caught me off guard.
Sure.
because
Well, I mean,
I was just kind of telling her what I was.
You weren't armed or prepared for it, but and I can give you more features and benefits, guys. I got 5 minutes left, and then it's noontime, and you get to go eat lunch. And you don't have to listen to me anymore today. But at the end of the day, I'll give you one more, just one more. It's going to be liquidity, okay? Again, let's go back and compare to a CD, okay? I always like comparing to CDs. Why? Because a lot of our retirees have CDs. They got burned in the market. They don't want to be in the market. They don't know of anything else that's out there. They trust the bank, so they put the money in a CD and forget about it. Let it just roll over automatically every single year. Don't pay any attention to it. Don't pay attention to the 1099s that they get. That they're paying taxes on that money. Don't even register that it's going to be an estate problem. None of that ever registered, which is why you guys can tell them. But also with a CD, if you go get any money out of it, they're going to take your interest away from you, aren't they?
Mhm.
They're gonna take, and it's written in the contract. It may be a set amount. It may be 3 months worth of interest, maybe 6 months worth of interest, maybe all of it. Depending on the organization, how they write their CDs, is going to determine how that comes out. Annuities, as a standard rule of thumb, guys, unless it's written differently, are going to give the client access to at least 10% of that account value each and every year without penalty. At least 10%. So it's going to give people additional liquidity that they don't have in comparable products, i.e. the CD. Okay? You take money out of CD, they're going to pop you for it. You take money out of any type of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, you're going to get market price. That may be to your benefit, it may be to your detriment. Only the market's there to tell us. You take money out of an annuity, as long as it doesn't exceed that 10%, there will be no penalty. If it exceeds that 10%, then each contract is different, but there are things called surrender charges,
Yeah.
where they're going to charge you for anything that you take over and above that predetermined 10% or whatever the company says. Okay.
Let's back to the tax deferred annuity or whatever. And I know an IRA, you can only put in so much a year out of your pocket. What's the deal with annuity? Can you put as much in as you
Much as you
punch
want.
in?
Yeah. Most companies put a cap on it of like $1 million.
But wow.
If that's your problem, give me a call. I'll make sure that I get a
Can you-
special exception
can
for
you
you.
do an annuity like the IRA where you put that money in and it's actually a tax break for you? Could you do that same thing with the annuity?
The
But
tax-
more money?
We can't escape the IRS's laws. If you're doing qualified money, all the rules that apply to a normal IRA are going to apply to that IRA annuity. If you're doing a non-qualified annuity and you want to add more money than what you could add to an IRA, you can, but there's no tax benefit for it.
Okay,
Okay? So the IRS's rules supersede all of that.
right.
Okay?
I was just wondering if there's a way to put more, since we're 1099 employees, we get the money untaxed. If I was able to throw some of that into an annuity to defer the tax until a later date. Not gonna work? Okay. Only
That's
with
still
the-
gonna be-
only with the IRA.
That's still gonna, yeah, it's still gonna be looked at as income. And if you want to do that, then I encourage you to incorporate and set up a 401k for yourself, and then you can put pre-tax money in there.
Okay.
You have the ability to put more money into a 401k than you do an IRA.
I'm setting up an S corp.
Okay. So that would be the route I would tell you to take there.
Okay.
Okay. But liquidity. So what's the benefit, guys? You have access to your money. Okay. So let's go back to that steel mill worker or farmer or whoever it is that blue collar worker didn't ever pay attention, maybe didn't even go to any economics classes, finance, none of the above, whatever the case might be, it doesn't matter. But you walk into that person's home and you say that you've got an investment opportunity that's going to be tax deferred, providing lifetime income potential, the escape of probate and liquidity. Maybe to you guys that sounds pretty common, everyday language. It's not. A lot of people are going to look at you cross-eyed and try to figure out why they're listening to you if you say that sort of thing. But if you walk into that same house and you tell people that you have an account that's going to give them the ability to grow their money faster, they cannot outlive that money. They will have access to their money. And if they pass away, their family gets their money faster, cheaper, and privately. That sounds like a pretty decent deal. All of a sudden, that makes sense. Okay. So I want you guys to be careful when you're in a house, whether you're speaking Medicare supplements, long-term care, life insurance, annuities, cancer, dental, whatever. Make sure you're speaking to the level of the person that you're talking to. But they don't care how much you know if they can't understand it. Got it?
One more thing probably people would like to know is some kind of financial assurance that the funds will not be just like lost because of the stock market was up or down or something, but some kind of financial assurance that the funds will be safeguarded as in addition all these other benefits.
Right. And those are other benefits that I just don't have time to jump into, but you're absolutely right. You can't lose money in these investments either. So, all right, since you got me there, I'm going to take 3 seconds of your time. There you go. Anything that is a fixed product, guys, which is all you're licensed to sell anyway, anything that's a fixed product has a guaranteed minimum. Okay? Even if that minimum is 0, it's a guaranteed minimum. There's no negative number in a fixed product. There is such thing as a 0 return. Equity index annuities do have the ability to generate a 0 return. Okay? And again, that's another training class. But there are guaranteed minimums. So if the worst case scenario is 0, that means I can't lose. I'll always be as good or better, right? And then we can talk about the organizations that insure insurance companies and all that jazz to go further down the road of financial certainty. But for the purpose of this very basic, very brief glimpse into the world of annuities, this is a good start. Good? Any questions? No? Alright guys, it's lunchtime, so thank you for your time and attention. Hopefully I'll be working closely with each and every one of you over the days, weeks, months, and years to come. And please, if there's anything that I can do to help improve your situation and time here with this organization, please let me know. Okay?
Sure.
Thanks guys. Cut it off, Roy! Cut it off! You can turn your camera off, buddy.